Okay, so let's talk about ground speed calculations, which is part of that reckoning part. It's also a little bit in flight planning. If you're using your mechanical computer, it takes a lot of time to calculate it, and the accuracy actually is questionable at best. More or less, you just need two formulas, which is drift formula and ground speed formula, to calculate it. I'm going to show you how to do it. And if you're using the same calculator while you're preparing for your exams, it will be really quick, even though the formulas look pretty scary at first. We will look at basic examples. And all in all, I do think, at least for me, when I learned these formulas, more or less the reckoning part was in the back for me, and I didn't really bother about it anymore. There's also, of course, wind calculations, but yeah, kinda you have to use the mechanical computer. There's some formulas with workarounds, but it's not for this video. So, a couple of things which you have to remember. Ground speed is only calculated from through heading. If you will calculate it from through track, answer is going to be approximate, not far off, but sometimes EASA leaves you traps. So just remember through heading where you are calculating ground speed from. One thing to remember about drift formula is that for ground speed, you want to have through heading when you're calculating the ground speed. For drift formula, it doesn't matter. You can use through track, you can use through heading. It doesn't matter. Answer is going to be correct. One thing to remember is you want to have through heading minus the wind degrees, or through track minus the wind degrees. If you will follow this order, you won't have to think whether the wind is blowing from the right or from the left. And if you will get a minus, that means that drift is left. If you get a plus, well, positive answer, that means your drift is to the right. And then you just remember compass, deviation, magnetic, variation, through heading, drift, through track. Plug in the numbers, minus is left, plus is right. And one thing of note, remember about wind correction angle. Wind correction angle is opposite of drift. So if you remember drift formula, then you just, use the opposite. If it's -4 drift, wind correction angle is +4. Simple. So formulas might look scary. Learn them. They're going to help you. When you will practice a little bit, it's going to take no time for you to write them in the calculator. You won't even think about it. And one last thing to remember, always check whether your answer is in magnetic or in through, and whether you have to apply variation or not, because in 10 questions you will not have to do it, on 11th you will have to do it, and you might make a mistake. So be attentive. So we have to calculate heading and ground speed. Remember, ground speed is calculated from the heading, and now we have to get from track to heading, so we have to calculate the drift. So by applying the formula, we have sinus 260, which is track or heading, doesn't matter. Well, we have given track, so we'll use that. 275 is the wind degrees, times 30, which is the wind speed, times 60, which is a constant, and divided by our through airspeed. So our result is that our drift is 1.7, so most likely the drift is going to be 2. Now we can apply the compass deviation, magnetic variation, blah, blah, blah. And we get our through heading at 262. And now we have to get our ground speed. So our ground speed formula is square root of through airspeed squared plus wind speed squared minus 2 times through airspeed times wind speed times cosinus through heading, which is 262 minus wind degrees. And our answer is 241, pretty much. Do we have anything here? And it should be the answer D. So we can see the question is correct. It's in a shitty green color, so it might be hard to see. But anyways, it might seem scary at first by using this large formula, but once you get practice, it's really quick. It's way more precise than the mechanical computer, if you want to call it like that. And if you get used to it, it's super quick, super precise, and there's no issues. You just have to understand a little bit, and with applying the drift formula in the correct sequence, you don't even have to think where is the wind blowing, and you will save a lot of time and on the exam, and you will be basically breezing through dead reckoning questions which involve ground speed calculations. So if you have any questions, ask, like, dislike, whatever, and thank you for watching.